Y'all are gonna hate how much I'm about to say trauma in this channel. Hello. Hello, Star Child. Hello, my name is Josh Tyler. Welcome to My Privileged Opinion. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, touch all the buttons. I appreciate it. The Queen has died, and it has started a lot of conversations, which I think are absolutely great conversations. But the one conversation that I really want to talk about is her being a colonizer and colonization, because I think that we as white people are missing a point, and I want to shed some light on that point. I firstly want to start off by saying I am not going to be discussing the quality of character of the Queen. 1, I don't care. 2, I don't know her. 3, she's dead and it's irrelevant. That conversation is not important. What started this idea was this tweet. I thought it was interesting to see the conflation of colonization into this large overarching general term. That the colonization in the 15 and 1600s was the same as the colonization 300 to 400 years later. Now, of course, this tweet is somewhat ambiguous, and there was pushback, obviously, from the gay white ally community, which will be discussed in a later video. And then there were a few, I'll call them clarifying tweets from the POC community. And I say clarifying because they were more curious in asking questions than the white allies, which I thought to be very interesting, and that's what's going to be discussed. The clarifying tweets from the POC community were to address that she was part of a larger system and she herself really did nothing to end it, which I understand. But I want to put this conversation in the framework that I am trying to present, which is a focus on trauma and resilience towards the path of healing. There needed to be nuance. In this conversation, one thing that white people will do is add nuance to our trauma-causing behavior, because it removes us from the severity of the atrocities of our forefathers. I firmly believe that there is no reason to fight someone for who they are, what they do. Instead, identify it and lean into it. If white people are going to create nuance within our trauma-causing structures, then we need to create nuance within the trauma that POC have experienced. To say that the Queen's trauma-causing behavior is equal to her predecessors removes the nuance in the trauma. The reason that nuance is important is because it's crucial to understand the trauma experience of people 300 to 400 years before the Queen took reign is not the same as the trauma that people experienced under her reign. When we start to conflate trauma together as equal, we blur the line between trauma that people have actually experienced in the now, as you a person, and the trauma that they were given through stories. There's a really good book called It Didn't Start With Me. I'll put the cover here. And it talks about how trauma can be passed down through generations through genetics. And that affects a person. But the important thing to know is that that's not their trauma. This again is another component of the nuance. It is so crucial to be able to identify between the trauma of your forefathers and the trauma of your actual lived experience. In my own healing journey, I had to reach a point where I decided that the trauma that was getting passed down from generation to generation in my family was going to end at me. And that required me making the conscious decision of saying, this is not my trauma. It has affected me, and that has caused me to have a lived experience and experience my own trauma. And that is where I will draw the line. And that is where I will make the separation so that I can move into a space of healing. To bring this back to the Queen. My goal is always, always, always to keep healing people at the center of the conversation. And POC people are at the center of this conversation. And for them, the Queen represents trauma. The monarchy represents trauma. And therefore her death means nothing to them because she represents pain. As English people, we need to understand this because we need to allow the space for people of color to be resilient. And if that's them making jokes, then so be it. I am more concerned about the healing journey of living people than I am about the feelings of a dead woman. Her family also needs to understand this. The scale of understanding this is from her immediate family to the furthest far-flung stranger from her. Please go out into the world, be good and do good, and I will see you next time. Bye! That was like a really good stream of consciousness. This window? Oh my god, if that picked up in the mic, I'm gonna be pissed! That window was open this whole time.